Yep. And then how can we help you to save the deal? I guess we like to call it that. So yeah, we just provide clear roof and exterior evaluations. So our goal is not to sell something on the spot right away. We want to be a resource. There's been times with other real estate agents that I work with where they reach out to me and they're like, hey, my buyer is concerned about the roof because a bunch of roofs in the area got replaced. Can you go take a look at it and give them that peace of mind? I go, find nothing, but at least the expert looked at it, and I send a report that they can share with the homeowner or the potential buyer. And at that point, you know, they have that peace of mind. So we're not always looking for selling. We're not that type of people that, hey, we're gonna find something wrong and try to sell it. Like I said, again, going back, we want to be a tool on your tool belt that when you need us, we're there and we'll give you an honest opinion as well.
One of those things is we do free estimates and free inspections. And then we service basically everything from Colorado Springs up to Cheyenne. And then around 50 miles from I-25, where we have done some homes up in Avon, Vale, Breck. So if you have anything up there that's of concern, we've definitely done some projects, and we're licensed basically all of Colorado. Alongside with being able to save the deal, we provide a report with no matter what inspection it is, whether we find damage or not, just to make that clear. We are also working on, this is an example of what that report looks like. We are also working on being able to provide video evidence for you guys, so you guys can actually see our point of view and see what we're finding, whether it's something, because we know sometimes a home inspector says, hey, this roof needs replaced, we get on there and it just needs a small repair done, and you guys get to see it through our point of view, and we use language also that helps everybody understand what's going on, because we know sometimes that's also a big headache, is when you don't know the language that we speak sometimes, and sometimes we don't know the language you guys speak.
Yeah, and if you want us to involve your clients in any email communication with any findings, we're more than happy. That way we're not playing telephone, but it's up to you. If you tell me, hey Christian, can you just tell me what you found? I'll communicate with my client. We're happy with that too, but just so you know, we can also be the person that delivers what we find, including you, of course, but we can do that. And then one thing that is huge for us is reputation. So I think the work that we've been doing is based off of building a personal brand. You guys are real estate agents, you know what I mean. You work for Keller Williams, but that building personal brand is huge for us, just like it is for you. So what I mean by that, so referrals, they're huge for us because we know if you refer someone to us, it's not just the company, but your name is on the line. So we want to make sure we don't let you down. So we take those very serious, and we try to make it a two-way street. If there are times that we know someone can benefit from what you do, we'll definitely get that referral as well. So go ahead, Jonathan.
So real situations that we saw, like I said, you have something that comes up where a home inspector says, hey, I think there's hail damage, this roof is worn, needs replaced. We can get out there fairly quick, and then our turnaround times for estimates are just as quick as well on the roof side. We try to be out there within 24 hours from when we get the call from you guys.
Yeah.
Just because we know you can get the home inspection today and you have a deadline by tomorrow.
When something comes up in an inspection, what's important for you guys? Is it like speed, response, clarity in what you're getting back? What would you say is? Oh, really? Because we've heard, and we're learning, just for context, we've been doing this for about a year. I was in banking for 10 years prior to this, so this is definitely something newish in a sense, but we learned that communication, that there are some contractors that apparently takes forever to respond, or like they're 7 days out to come and do an inspection. So we're surprised by it. It's really.
Or they say every roof needs a full replacement.
Yeah, we've heard that, and so we're the total opposite. Because we know that the moment we do that, we become one of the bunch, and the likelihood of you guys calling us will be very, very soon.
But there's also that opportunity, or there's also that chance that it might need that full replacement, and we'll be completely honest and show you guys why it needs that.
We like to come up with more than one alternative. So if there's something that could work better for you and your client, we like to present it as well. At the end of the day, we want to do what's best for you and the homeowner or the homeowner to be. So, and working with us, really, fast response, like Jonathan said, clear photos and explanation, communication with all parties if needed, insurance support when applicable. So if it's an insurance claim, we work directly with them. We do a lot of networking with insurance agents because we like to know what's changing in the insurance game. I'm sure you all know in Colorado, with hail, like deductibles are changing. So we like to stay on top of it, so we're a resource for them as well. Lifetime workmanship warranty, and then the long-term partnership. That's really what we're looking for. We're not looking for just showing up once. We don't hear from you, we don't get a lead in a month, and then we're out, never hear from us again. I personally know a few people here in this office, so our goal is to build that long-term relationship.
And feel free to reach out to us if you want to grab coffee or lunch or whatever. We always love that because that's part of us. Like, not even talking business, right? Talking personal lives, that's what we love because, again, relationships.
Yeah. Do you guys have any questions? We're going to stick around till the end of the meeting, but if you guys have like one question maybe, if not, then we'll be around. Yes, sir.
So we can just, when we go to a listing appointment, we can offer that complimentary free inspection.
Yep. Yeah, actually we're working with someone who they're about to put the house in the market until May, but they want to do all of that before the actual inspection takes place. They're trying to be proactive. So we can definitely do that. Yeah, if something comes up, then at least you know what to expect when the inspection comes. Or if you want to be proactive and take care of it before that, before you list it. So, but yeah, we can do that.
And then one thing we always recommend is yearly inspections as well. So if you know your client says, oh, my roof is new, I replaced it 3 years ago, there's always items that need maintenance on roofs. So you have a bunch of nails, all the penetrations have silicone. Silicone weathers away with the weather. So stuff like that are small repairs that you can be proactive in getting done. Like he said, that one agent that let us out, she's like, hey, my client's ready to go in May, but I know we've had some hailstorms. She doesn't know if she has damage. Let's be proactive because we know sometimes the insurance process does take a little bit of time.
And you guys work with the insurance that, some insurances now they change the whole perspective about full replacement. They do a partial replacement if they figure out that the whole roof needs to be replaced. You guys work with that part and then get insurance.
Yeah, sometimes we do have to get a second inspection with them if we think a repair will not do the job or if repairing it would actually cause more damage. But also, depending on the city and the county, some cities like Thornton and Longmont, they have a 1 square rule. So if there is enough damage on a 10 by 10 area, if it's more than that, they cannot just do the replacement and that. They have to do a full replacement.
As long as they have code coverage under the policy, but that's something that we talk with the homeowners and with you, so you know, hey, this is what their coverage is, and that's ultimately what determines what their out-of-pocket cost is. Because you could have $1,000 deductible, which is going away, by the way. But let's say they don't have code coverage, and then they have some other issue like space stacking arrives. And I know this is my terminology, so I'm sorry. But that could change your out-of-pocket cost from being just $1,000 of your deductible to being a potential $10,000, $15,000 out-of-pocket cost.
And the bottom line, just to wrap it up, is we try to have these conversations with homeowners before we even start any work. Because the last thing we want is like, oh, surprise, there's an additional $5,000 charge to meet code, right? So that's what we ask these questions. We go very thorough on like, hey, what does your policy look like? Because then we know potentially if something comes up, what we're looking at. So, but we don't start any projects until we're kind of like on the same page and we get the green light from the homeowner.
Yeah, and then at the moment, we do have a soft 5-year cert. We are working on having a more solid 5-year certification as well for roofs. And then we're also working with solar to provide a full all-around inspection as well with solar. You have solar systems on your roofs.
We'll be around. We'll stick until the end of the meeting in case any other questions come up. We'll be more than happy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course, yeah.
Excellent. Thank you again for the food. Thank you all for coming today. That'll go. But so, how many of you all went to this family reunion? Who has never been to a family reunion? Perfect. All right. So, I was a big fan of this family reunion. I know a lot of it is like drinking from a fire hose. I could have kept the pause there. That works too. So we all kind of go in there with hopefully with intentions what to look for and what to learn and what to gather. And one of my favorite things about this office is we are so collaborative. So if somebody went somewhere and learned something, someone went somewhere else, learned something, so much of it tied together. So I think this is a really good opportunity to kind of parse everything down, feel what other ahas other people came away with, ask questions if you haven't gone. And today's just kind of going to be a conversation about who walked away with what the big ahas, what you're going to implement, and yeah, feel free to just talk, ask questions, and we'll try to keep not on one topic too long. But yeah, does anyone want to start off with something they walked away with or something they're happy they went with? Awesome. Yes, Carlos.
Yeah, you share some good insight.
Well, my insight from today for this, all you have one of these on your table. Here's what I'm going to do. I went to a really great AI class with Jason Abrams. They had, I took photos of the slides that they had in that class. There's 9 hacks that they went over, stemming from YouTube, you name it. It went all the way through Facebook business pages, some little hacks that you can use and implement right away. I have those slides. Everybody who shares or scans this and subscribes to my YouTube channel, I will email you those slides so that you can have them as a thank you for subscribing. But my biggest takeaway, I think, was realizing how useful AI is for agents and their business, and how much more we can be doing with AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, to be able to be found easier. I think that a lot of agents are not using it to the maximum potential, and I think the biggest takeaway that I got was that YouTube is pretty much the number one algorithm that you can have right now, and where you should be at the most. Everybody thought that on social media, we all know that Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok are kind of the platforms that the majority of agents use, but YouTube is one of the biggest ones right now to be using. YouTube Shorts, or YouTube, yeah, Shorts.
YouTube Shorts.
And the next one that I didn't realize was LinkedIn. LinkedIn ads perform better than Facebook ads. So that was one big takeaway that I didn't even realize. I have a LinkedIn page and I literally never use it. But they say that a lot of the baby boomers are using LinkedIn and are in LinkedIn, and that's a great way to get in front of those people that have lots of money. And one of the biggest transfers of money is going to be going from them to the next generations down. And so trying to utilize LinkedIn a little bit more as well. So that was my takeaway. Questions?
And before this weekend, I had never heard of YouTube Shorts, and it was YouTube, yeah, and it was brought up multiple times. It's Carlos. You explained it well to me earlier.
It's just YouTube Shorts is just the same thing as Facebook Stories. This is just their version of stories, basically. Short clips that you can do. So like you're doing your short clips on Facebook, or you're doing your short clips on TikTok or whatever, those 30-second videos, that's basically what they have. It's their version of stories. Yeah, or Reels on Instagram. Yep.
Perfect.
Questions? I got more. I got answers. Oh, and I want to shout out to Brian. Brian, literally made me do this today, because we talked about it in our meeting this morning, and I didn't have any clue where to find this QR code. And I shared it with a few people already, and all of us have gotten takeaways already. So I think it's just awesome how together, collaborating with the collaborative group, you guys can all learn something new.
How many people have a YouTube channel? How many are you using your YouTube channel for business? Okay, I'm going to teach a YouTube class next Thursday at noon upstairs at the collaboration table. So show up for that.
Say the date again.
Next Thursday, a week from today, noon, YouTube, and we'll go over setting up your YouTube channel and doing live streaming and some other stuff.
And Carlos, did they say?
Make sure you show up with your YouTube channel, at least you're started, and knowing how to log onto it.
For LinkedIn, did they say what to post? Like videos? Is it the same thing that we're kind of posting on TikTok, Instagram, or is it just?
My takeaway was more so the paid ads. They said they were performing really well, so I haven't really dug into it enough to really know exactly how to even do them. But that was my biggest takeaway, that if I'm gonna be paying for ads, that I probably will get more bang for my buck paying for ads on LinkedIn versus one of the other platforms.
Did they have panelists?
No, because I saw that, I think that was on the Gary Vee thing. Do one of you guys remember, who was it that was talking about, I think it was Gary Vee that was talking about it, but I can't remember exactly what it was about.
I think the thing with YouTube is that that's gonna improve your algorithms, right? It's gonna push you up top. So I think to answer your question, I think it's more about being consistent and doing it daily, putting a lot of content out there.
LinkedIn is a special place though, right? It doesn't operate like Instagram, right? If all you post is pictures on LinkedIn, you're probably not gonna get a ton of followings because that's not where people go to look at pictures, right? Think of what people go to LinkedIn for. It's a much more business environment, and what you see a lot of people doing on there to attract people is running like newsletters and more long-form written content on LinkedIn that a lot of the other platforms don't allow you to post 5,000 character posts that are like a blog essentially. But if you're on LinkedIn, you're probably there for more of that kind of content, right? Long-form written content, because the only other place that really exists is Twitter or blogs, and Twitter's not that long-form, and a lot of people have moved away from Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it. But LinkedIn, that's where you have an opportunity for long-form written content that there's not really a place anywhere else outside of like blogs and more unique places for yourself. But in terms of platforms, LinkedIn is great for that kind of long-form written or just more like detailed content.
And
right?
business oriented they talked about too, because a lot of people go in there for business purposes, and so like relocation videos, talking about how you can help somebody relocate to Denver, those types of videos, like the one that you were showing us, would be like an ideal LinkedIn ad to put. Right. Somebody saying, hey, I'm moving to Denver, I don't know anything about it, and they're probably looking through LinkedIn to get some resources and figure out what to do.
I think LinkedIn's a great place for like market stats. That's that kind of environment that you can consistently get, right? And showing your professional expertise in LinkedIn, where the other platforms are more personally based, right? More social based, where it's showing your personality and authenticity, where in LinkedIn I'm showing my professionalism.
And I'll interject here too, as anyone's listening for new ideas, new tidbits, and all of a sudden realize, oh crap, now I have 100 more things to add to my already long list.
Yeah.
Take nuggets, something you can already add to what you're doing, or something like, okay, I've been starting this, that's a good idea to add. So don't feel overwhelmed by this, take what you can.
LinkedIn, first step, go to your AI and adjust your profile and what it says on your profile and making sure that that's updated and thinking about how AI is going to be looking for you on. Just start there with LinkedIn, is update your profile. Picture, description, just start there, and then you can start working that LinkedIn platform into your rotation, but it just starts with refresh your profile. LinkedIn has a pretty decent algorithm that's going to get it in front of people, and it starts with what does it say in your profile to know who to like start saying, oh, you might, because if you have LinkedIn, you get like 100 emails from like, you might want to connect with so-and-so. Well, it's using that information to tell you who to connect with, right? And so that's the place of the first, like, what do I do now? I know I need to start my LinkedIn, or I haven't touched my LinkedIn in years. Go update the profile, use your AI tool to help you make sure that the language is consistent across your other profiles to help that AI find it as well through LinkedIn.
Excellent. So I feel like AI so far has been the underlying theme for almost everything this past week. And anyone come away with some solid gems from AI that you want to share?
The ones that want to do family?
Or if you have any questions, I'll start this. My last breakout was like 10 times your listings. The sponsor for it was a video, I have to link it home, a video AI video maker. The first 10 people to scan the code and enter in got a free video, and I was on the gun and I got mine. It's pretty sweet. I think it was $150 per video, or there's different subscriptions, but it took my photos, it animated a lot of them, it put people interacting in them, and it narrated when you got to choose a whole bunch of different voices, and it was, as much as I will do professional videography too, this was a fairly simple and quick.
Do you have that where you can share it and put it on the screen?
Yes, I do. And while I find that,
Do you know how many breakouts they had total? Okay.
40, probably. Maybe.
I put my slides that I was just mentioning to you guys on the Keller Williams Facebook page, so if you guys want them, they're up there. There's 9 slides with all the different codes. Just do me a favor, if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe, please. Good text, huh?
Like a fire at the circus.
We gotta get to 50. We gotta get to 50, bro?
So you can live stream.
There you go.
I think even if you get to 100, you get to customize your link as well. So it's not, you don't have like the weird like long URL, you can customize it. I think at 100 followers, you can customize your link.
What do you get to 1,000?
There's stuff that, and that's it. You can start monetizing. There's a couple of different ways to monetize your YouTube channel, and there's different criteria you have to hit. And I think 1,000 followers is one of them. You can also get like X amount of hours watched, but it's like 500 hours watched to be able to monetize your channel. But the more activity you get, the more opportunity you have in YouTube as well for monetizing your channel, or that means like paid ads run on your content that brings some revenue back to you. I'll just tell you, that revenue looks like $10 checks per month, right? For most people who monetize their channels in our space, unless you're getting millions of views, you're not making good money on YouTube. So just
at the
make sure
Starbucks.
it's worth your time.
For a couple ads.
Yeah, and that's what I would say is if you're making revenue from it, just dump it back in, because I've gotten some YouTube channels grown pretty well with the follower count just by paying like $10 ads on stuff, just little tiny ads that they're not the greatest followers because a lot of them are fake, but it juices the algorithm for you, and you can pay, the price is not that high on YouTube to make some movement in your channel.
Right on. All right, this is the video. They also made a shorter reel for me as well.
And this was off of pictures, like a gallery of pictures,
Yeah.
or one picture?
No, many different pictures.
Yeah.
It's a striking gray facade with
I just sent them my Zillow link for it.
anchored by professional landscaping and welcoming front porch railings. Step through the custom storm door into an open
They added those people?
Is that staged by them or is that your actual staging?
living room.
This is, they tweaked some of it for this, but this is mostly staged. It can add staging for you too.
Air conditioning for year-round customers. The
I
kitchen
will
commands attention with its
find that and share it in a second.
double oven gas range and
Wow.
a
That's insane.
I would pay 150 for this video.
That's weird though.
ascend to the second level where 2 bedrooms.
You guys see any deals in my
listings?
Your primary suite spans the southwest corner.
What's not there, Sean? Can you point any of that out?
Featuring a walk-in closet.
That TV wasn't there. That dark green room wasn't dark green.
Practical
That's my
luxury
closing sock. I hide
Those
those
cars?
cars. Those cars aren't real. The garage door was closed in the photo.
Your Trex deck extends.
Those lights weren't on.
Straight light.
Those lights were on? Wow.
Railed stairs descend.
Was the sunset there?
Nope.
Were the mountains there?
Those weren't there. They pulled those photos for me.
All this just?
Schedule your private tour. to
That's
discover
pretty damn good.
That's yeah.
daily living.
I didn't like it.
Get the name of the company.
Wow. So this was one of the breakouts you went to?
This company sponsored the last breakout I did.
And that was $150 for them to make that?
This one was free because I was one of the first 10, but yes, $150 per video.
Thank you for being one of the first that, John.
Yeah, huh?
That's impressive for 150.
Yeah, that's cheaper than the video that you order from any.
Well, no, 150 is the starting price. This could be a $300.
How do you know that?
You say that.
This would have been 150.
That's the one we.
And there are different plans you can add. I'll find who it was at some point.
Yeah, we'll make sure to send that to
Yeah.
everybody. Ruben, what was one, I know that you go and your team obviously goes with huge intentions. What were some of your takeaways or the classes that you enjoyed the most? Did you guys stick together or separate and conquer?
Yeah, so we separated. The intention is that, we all wanted to tackle something different. And in full transparency, and I say this in the most humble way, I think I felt guilt, and the only reason I'm sharing is because I'm sure other people in the room might relate. I feel like I was there trying to find the magic pill because I feel like I've hit a ceiling, and I'm like, okay, like, what is that one thing that I'm missing? And why am I not the one being interviewed, right? Like, what's missing? And in the most humble way, there's not a magic pill, right? The only difference between me and the people being interviewed is that they're doing the work. I'm just thinking of doing the work. Because there was no, like, new ideas. Like, for instance, right, like, let's talk about YouTube. I have, in my opinion, a lot of good ideas. But, you know, they're in between my ears. They're not out there. And the difference with them is that all their ideas, they probably even lack ideas, but everything that comes across their mind is already out there. So that was a huge takeaway for me. When Gary Vee was out there, it also impressed me. It impressed me because he mentioned that the day before they had scheduled like 300 and something posts. And I thought to myself, like, I probably don't even post that much throughout the entire year, right? Much less a day. It also amazed me that, for instance, I'm bilingual and he has multiple channels that are like Gary Vee Español, Gary Vee this, Gary Vee that, and he's posting in so many platforms. It also amazed me that, you know, like, I thought to myself, I'm like, okay, there's this gentleman by the name of Elio Alanis, we're the same age, he's kicking butt. His one thing is Instagram, and then Gary Vee comes out and says, no, you need multiple platforms. And I'm like, okay, well, that's just increasing work. But again, that's the difference, right? Like, somebody's actually doing it. Some of us are just thinking of doing it. And then on Saturday, there was a breakout from young professionals, and there was a gentleman that gave a speech on the experience that you deliver. And he mentioned that there's a restaurant in California called the French Laundry. Has anybody heard of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You've probably been there, right, Brian?
I've not been there, but I know about it.
Yeah, so like apparently it's like the best experience, right? And it's such a good experience that if I'm not mistaken, they have no marketing budget because they just sell out so quickly. And I thought to myself, right, like, we're all real estate agents here in this room. We all do things slightly different, but what's that experience that we deliver? And we don't necessarily have to roll out the red carpet. But for instance, something I'm going to start implementing is doing thank you videos. And the reason I want to start doing thank you videos is honestly inspired by Steven, because Steven has taken the time to send me a couple videos, and I'll admit, sometimes I haven't replied and you feel really, really guilty next time you see him. Like, shoot, I completely, like, I was driving, I put play, I saw the video, I said, like, yeah, I'll reply, and then the day went by and I never replied. And we signed two buyer agency agreements when we were out there. The clients knew that we were in Atlanta. The time zone difference threw me off because I for almost didn't answer their call because I thought it was late, but it was a different time zone. So yeah, we got them signed. When we came back, I recorded a video and I said, hey, you know, Sal, we're back from Atlanta. Thank you so much for having patience with us over the weekend. We're super excited to get started with showings with you. Here's the next couple steps. And far from a message that is just ignored, they all hearted it, so that fluffed my ego.
How'd you send it?
What's that?
How did you send it?
Through text message. Yeah, through text message. Yesterday, we recorded what we're hoping is our first YouTube channel in hopes of, again, getting those ideas out there and getting them implemented. And for anybody that doesn't have an idea on how to start, my biggest takeaway was just start with what you know, and I started with my story. So, yeah.
Did anyone else create extra social media accounts when Gary Vee was talking about that?
Like what?
So doing the action,
Platforms
you're
and
doing it right
handles.
there.
We talked about
I-
platforms and
Yeah.
handles.
Explain that.
So then you say, I'm gonna do it when I get back, and then you don't do it.
Well, and I think I get so caught up on like, will that go viral, will it not go viral? Well, truth of the matter is that we'll never know until it's out there, right? So if we have 5 ideas, let's post all 5 and let's see which one goes viral versus I'm gonna wait to get another 5 and then we'll compare and then, you know, so yeah.
What do you mean by, yeah, can you explain what you're saying?
Yeah, so Gary Vee talked about platforms and handles. And they never gave us the full list of what 7 platforms we should be on, but they said be on 7 platforms.
So that's like Instagram, Facebook.
TikTok, LinkedIn, and then X. All right, so platforms, you need to be on multiple platforms, and then handles. That's having multiple accounts on each platform. Like a handle that he mentioned was like Gary Vee has the Gary Vee handle, that's his main one. But then there's a Gary Vee Talks Wine or whatever it is, or a Gary Vee
Espanol.
Espanol, right? Where
They speak Spanish.
right? And, you know, like, shout out, is Sydney here? Yeah. Like, Sydney has 2 different Instagram accounts, right? She has her real estate, or actually 3 accounts, right? Like a personal, your real estate page, and then you have the book club page now, right?
Well, I just have my, my business one, that's like my personal combined, and the book page, yeah.
Yeah, so she's focused on other content, but it helps drive her real estate business, but it's focused in a book club space and talking about education in there. But that's just another way where she is finding an audience that's interested in the book clubs and creating a community in that handle on Instagram, right? And how many different channels could you put out from your expertise or your interests? And that's what they mean by handles on there. So if you're new, like, I don't think anybody should go out there and go jump on all 7 platforms and make 6 handles on each platform and then try and start there. Like, if you're not mastering one, you need to start with one handle, 1 platform, and get your habits aligned, and then add 2 platforms that do the same content. And be clever, because Facebook and Instagram work really well together, right? I think we all know that those work well together because they're owned by Meta. But the content I put on TikTok is not the same content I'm putting on Facebook and Instagram, because those don't really match in algorithms. TikTok and YouTube match a little bit better, right? And think about what those platforms look like, because Facebook has a different vibe and a different messaging where I can't copy and paste content like I can, well, what I will do with like Instagram and Facebook, right? My TikTok it's more specific because that audience wants something different. The algorithm works differently, and you have to be aware of some of those things, which is you build up to that. You're not going to learn all of this stuff about every platform to use well enough. So start with what works for you on one platform, one handle, and grow from there.
My takeaway from Gary Vee, because Gary Vee was like one of the keynote speakers, right? And so he had a lot to say. I mean, a tremendous amount to say. And I think the biggest takeaway that I got from him was that all of our platforms that we're using right now is free advertising for us. And a lot of us don't use it to the level that we should be using it, considering that it's 100% free, right? Like, we're all looking to spend, we'd rather spend something in hopes of getting a deal instead of doing something to get the deal, right? And so most of the time we're all looking for that magic pill, you know, to help us get a lead or to help us get exposure. And we got all these platforms that we can literally post on for free, and none of us are using them at a maximum potential. And that being said, he also mentioned that we're in an era that it's only going to be the next 4 to 5 years that we're going to be able to use these platforms and actually get away with free marketing. He did mention that, you know, everybody's catching on to the fact that everybody's using this and nobody's paying for it, right? And so at some point in time or another, he thinks that the free advertising piece of these platforms is probably going to go away within the next 4 to 5 years. How or what that's going to look like with AI might change, and he doesn't know exactly where it's going to go, but he did say that he doesn't feel like it's going to be there forever, so we should take advantage of it while we have it.
One of the pieces I really liked about what Gary Vee talked about was around the content and talking about personal stuff. Because I think we all get kind of wrapped up in how personal, how much business, I want to be authentic, or some of us are like, I'm a private person, I don't want to be sharing all of that. And like Gary Vee said, is you don't need to then. Like, if you're not a person that shares things out and you're pretty private, that's okay to be that authentic you who is that on social media. That just means your content has to be consistently something else. If there's not personal stuff going in there and you're not sharing your story about, like Ruben shared his story and it's very deep, but that's Ruben, right? Isn't that, if you know Ruben, that's authentically him. Me, I'm not sharing my story as often, and it's not as authentically me to try and do what Ruben does. And so if you're worried about your privacy, it's okay to be private online, but you still, that doesn't mean don't do it. And I think a lot of us get caught up in, I don't like social media, or I don't like sharing my whole life and world, and you don't have to. You just have to be authentic. And whatever that looks like and what you want to show people, that's what you show people. But be authentically you and get out of your own way around the whole, I don't like social media, I don't want people to know about my world, then don't share about your world. Share more about real estate, share more about your expertise, your community, whatever it is, but do it authentically.
Did you guys see more classes around AI and social media, or was there still a good amount of classes around open houses, for sale by owners, and farming? I know that I've been to, were there still a lot of classes in regards to that, or was it mainly focused on just technology?
I went to a handful that weren't AI or social media focused, but each of those integrated AI and social media too.
So the big focus, I think, was AI and social media, AI a lot.
Okay.
From all the previous family reunions that I had gone to, I don't think I've ever seen one that was so focused on one specific thing this year, which was AI.
This shirt was from the 23 family reunion. And I remember talking about then, but this was by no level the amount of AI that this one had.
And Sean, why do you go to family reunion?
I go to network, to meet people. I think I shared this to me. The first couple years I went to, I saw agents going around and like hanging out with their posses, and like there were like, how do you get a posse at these? And so I want that. And so I started just talking to people. My very first Bold 100s, I was just walking around downtown, walking up to people and talking to them. It's like, I can do that here. And I just walked around and started talking to people, and I've got stacks of agents' business cards, and it's getting to the point where even with smart plans, it's a lot to maintain. So this year I went with the intention of, I'm not going to fill my bag with business cards, but I'm going to fill my time with better conversations, so that I know Devin when I call him back today, actually, and I can remember that conversation and what we talked about. And it's 40% of all my business is done from agent referrals, and so I want to keep that growing and be intentional about that. And that's what bigger pool to go fishing in.
So I think for the most part, we all think that everything has to be super complicated. And I remember asking you how do you do it? Because we sat together at a class and Sean didn't want to sit next to me. Did I take it personal? Yes. My therapist knows all about it. But then somebody sat next to us, and then Sean had a really good conversation, and I asked him, I just don't know how you do it. Like, I get there, and the horses that race, that they have like the things on their eyes, that's kind of me. And you gave me an advice with just, starting off with shoes. So, yeah. And I don't know anything about shoes, so I was back to square one. But I started with weather, right? Like, wherever they're from, like, how's the weather out there? And, yeah. So, thank you.
Absolutely.
And I think.
And I did enjoy sitting with you.
Brandon, you go for the same reasons, right? To network? Yeah. Anything to say on that and what you kind of do in regards to networking with agents?
Yeah, I mean, I've been going for, I think this was my 11th year. I think that's right. And it's really about, just building the relationships. I'm part of the Keller Williams Rainbow Network, so I have that, I'm part of the leadership team on that, and it's just building about quality relationships and not quantity. Like, I had a business coach years ago, and he was saying, when you go to family reunion, people are just gonna throw business cards at you. If you didn't have a meaningful conversation with them, if you didn't make a connection, just when you walk away, put that one in the recycle bin and keep the ones that you, tear a corner off the ones that you actually had a meaningful conversation with, and stay in contact with those people. And so it's about building relationships, just like what we do here with our people. It's about building relationships.
I want to be like Sean when I grow up, so for me, it's actually very overwhelming to be around 12,000 people, everybody trying to get to the classes or to the main event. So sometimes I retract, and I don't really, even though I'm a social person, I feel like that's too much. So I did connect with people when I was at the bar, though, so that was good. Actually, Jay Shetty was incredible. I personally went because of Jay Shetty. I think he's incredible. He talks about mindfulness and just being authentic to yourself, and just, I felt like he was just explaining how to win the day, how to win yourself. The other thing is just being, I think next year I'm going to wear like one of my nice hats. I'm going to put Denver. And so bedazzle a little bit maybe. Because when I was leaving to get my bag, this lady was like, "Hey, are you from Denver?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, my stepsons live in Denver, and I'm coming out there in May, and I'm looking for a realtor because they all want to buy houses.
Yes.
I'm like, yes, absolutely, let's do lunch. So I actually, even from Mega Camp, I got a deal one year. So I think if you go with that intention, and it doesn't have to be like, go to all the classes and do all the things, because that's a lot for me. So you also have to know your capacity and what your strengths are. And I think you can make it a great win for yourself.
Yeah, it can be overwhelming. It can be overwhelming. There's so many people there. That's why these, like, I keep pushing the affinity groups, like the Rainbow Network. I went to a KW soccer event where we got to tour the Falcons Stadium, which was really awesome. And you're in like a group of 20 people instead of 12,000 people. So you can really like have meaningful conversations. So there's KW Chispa, there's Simcha, which is the Jewish group. There is lady leaders, there's the military, there's so many now, and they're growing, and there's so many. I think there was a KW Hoops now for basketball. So like there's different groups that you can become a part of, become members of, and build the relationships with those people, where it's like something that you're interested in and you like, and so you're gonna have something in common, and it's a group of 20 or 30 or 100 depending on the size of the group, where it's not 12,000 people.
How do you, I'll keep that. How do you get to know those groups, and how do you get invited or get into the events? That's one.
So I would say, I mean, I got invited to the KW Rainbow Network, and so we're the oldest affinity group, I think, out of any real estate company, the KW Rainbow Network. So we've been around for like 25 years. But a lot of the new groups, if you go to KW communities on the internet, there's a list of all of them, and there's a way that you click on the group. They should have an instructions on how to join.
It's on the agenda too.
I'll force my way in.
Is it?
When the meetings are.
Family reunion
Is it?
Facebook
Oh
pages.
yeah.
If you go to our family reunion Facebook pages, the invites will be up there, and they don't restrict it to just their groups. I'm inviting myself and I show up.
They're on the agenda.
They're on the agenda for the events. Like you got invited. We're listed in the app now, or whatever.
So we can find that on the Connect?
On the Facebook, on
No,
the
like for
family reunion
family
agenda?
reunions agenda, all the events are for the affinity groups are listed on there. If they see them.
Yeah. I wanted to share a few things if anybody didn't mind. I think everybody should read the book by Donald Miller, the Building a Story Brand 2.0. Like Building a Story Brand 2.0. It's been on my mind a lot, and I guess I didn't know how to really like communicate it. But like we aren't really, a lot of the stuff that we're putting out, the social media stuff especially, we aren't really putting out content that's going to attract people to want to work with us. Okay? And the reason why is because we don't have a clear message of what we do and what we are and what clients are looking for. For example, I was thinking about this on the way in this morning, is, what is a potential buyer that's going to be coming to our market, what are they interested in? What's the number one thing that buyers want from their agent?
Data? I think like what's in the community, like coffee shops, breweries, restaurants, location, I think of what's nearby the communities.
It's actually to find a house. Okay, you guys remember when he did his presentation, remember I think it was PetSmart or whoever the company was, he said, we just kept it simple and we said, kids love aquariums. And they doubled their business. And like, we just need to send out a message that says, we'll help you find a house. Okay? We'll help you sell your house. That's what they want. We overcomplicate the message, and it takes too much brain power for them to actually process it, and so they move on to the next one. So I was thinking this morning, I live in Littleton, Colorado, and so like a good post would be, I know the best deals, the best 10 deals in Littleton, Colorado between $1 million and $2 million, contact me and I'll let you know what those are. I mean, if you're a buyer, don't you want to know what those are? But like a lot of the content we're putting out is tours of houses, videos, walking through houses, looking pretty, blah, 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 all that. And the reality is that's not what the buyer wants. The buyer wants you to help them find a house. That's the message. That's what you need to send out. Okay? And if for a seller, what does the seller want? Sell a house. And you could maybe take it a little deeper and say sell it in the least amount of time, highest price, least amount of stress. That hasn't changed in the 28 years that I've been into the business. Okay, that's your message. That's what all your social media should say. Okay, and I think there's actually, I'm trying to think of the website, it's like storybrand.ai, where you can go and get help actually crafting what your brand is. And it's going to be simple, and it's going to seem really, really basic, but that's what people want. Okay? And so I definitely would review that. The second thing is I went to a lot of YouTube stuff. You know, people buy communities. They don't buy houses. Okay? The reality is when somebody comes to you and says, I want to live in Littleton, Colorado, they're not saying I want a specific house or neighborhood. They're saying I want to live in that community. And so every story that you tell on YouTube should be about the community. Okay? And so I'm going to teach that class on YouTube, so I won't go too in depth on it. But it really doesn't have to be about, it really shouldn't be about you. When you make the story about you, okay, you're not communicating effectively to the buyer or the seller. It's not about you. It's not about who you are. It's about how you can be the guide that helps them get what they want. So when you do your social media content, whether it's on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or whatever, your Facebook, whatever it is, it should always be about how you can be their guide to help them get what they want. Okay? And so I think you maybe asked about whether there was stuff on open houses and for sale by owner, stuff like that. You guys still, Gary said on stage, he still said over 60% of the business is because of relationship. It's your database, okay? Social media can actually be an effective tool to market to your database, and most of your business that comes from social media is going to be through your database, okay? So only about 10 to 15% of the people are picking an agent online through social media or AI or whatever it is. So you really, think of social media as a way to attract more people to build a relationship with through your database, rather than thinking that you're going to go put a bunch of stuff on social media and then all of a sudden there's going to be all these people that come from all over the planet that say, oh, I want to work with you. Now you can get that, but it's probably only going to be about 1 out of every 10 deals you do. And so always, always, always keep the focus on your database and building your database. I think that's all I have.
Thank you all. And I know our time's up. If anyone wants to hang out and keep talking, some of us will be here.
Just quick announcement. So education, culture, and health and wellness came together to put this together today. So we have a small business owner outside. She is a masseuse, and she is doing chair massages, $1 a minute. So if you guys would like a little 10-15 minute massage with all the walking you did in family reunion, please go support her business. She's going to be coming back to some of my businesses or my events that I have for clients, but she's great at what she does, and then she's willing to also give back and support us in whatever capacity that we need. So if anybody wants a little massage, she's right here in this other room. So thank you guys for everything. Thank you, Christian and Jonathan, for sponsoring today. You guys